Alright, you guys, so I am back at it again with another third eye video because you guys like my third eye videos so much. I thought I'd make a live video about another one. Um, Someone left a comment somewhere, whether it was my email or my comment box. They wanted to know what was one of the first, like what were some of the beings that I saw when I opened my third eye. Now, this can get very like woo or very spiritually out there for some of you guys. Hello to those who are entering this talk. Um, but this can get very like out there. But those of you who are curious about what I saw when I opened my third eye, I guess I'm going to talk about some of the things that happened when I opened my third eye. If you guys have any questions as I go along, feel free to comment below and I'll answer them as I go. But yeah, some of the some of the things that I saw when I opened my third eye. This is gonna sound crazy, but all right. When I opened my third eye, a lot of my reality was being shaken up, meaning a lot of my beliefs were being challenged. A lot of my conditioning that was set into place for me to believe my whole life was being challenged. And I was just not having it. I wasn't taking it very well. Some people may take it better than others, but I wasn't having it. I wasn't taking it very well because I thought like everything that I knew and I've been conditioned to believe was that was the set reality. That was all that I ever knew. But when I opened my third eye, I started seeing angels. And some people might not believe in angels, and some people might, but primarily one of the biggest beings and the most often what I saw was angels, and they presented themselves as very tall, vibrant beings. They really a lot of them were had a very vibrant blue energy, white energies, um, but it's not in the sense where it was like angels in the movies, like oh wings, flowy white clothing. It was more so. No problem, you guys. I'm gonna get to your questions soon. Um, but it wasn't beings like angels like the movies, but it was energetic beings like think of almost like huge blobs of energy, more alien like even. So like a lot of I experienced a lot of beings that I felt intuitively were not of planet Earth, if that even makes sense. As my third eye opened, um, my sixth sense uh, got stronger, and my intuitive uh, senses got stronger, and I started feeling what I felt was beings from different dimensions. It's kind of like just being aware of all the different dimensions and realms when you start to open your third eye. Um, the beings that I felt were from a different dimension. I couldn't really see them with my third eye or my physical eye, but mostly the angels I saw. Um, a lot of people fear that they will see demonic things, but I didn't see any demonic things. Anytime things like that come in my mind, I know it's fear more so than what I'm seeing because we've been conditioned to fear the spiritual realm, things like that. So mostly I just saw angels and sensed other beings. I feel like there's beings that, uh, uh, how to explain it? If you're a medium, for example, or you open your third eye and you strengthen your six senses, you start feeling all these different realms that coincide with one another. And the veil kind of gets very thin between all these different realms. So you can sense beings from many different realms, but you can't always see them. And partly because some of these beings are way too advanced for our physical being to even understand or comprehend, but it's more so a clear knowing than a clear seeing. But it's something that does come with opening your third eye or strengthening your sixth sense. So yeah, just angels, no demons. I will actually touch on in the next video about because so many people like comment and say that oh you're messing with something that's satanic or demonic, and especially like with Kundalini energy. I don't get down like that, and it's nothing that I consciously, awarely, like choose to, um, uh, whatever people are saying, like it's like this sinful thing. I'll touch on my views about that and like biblical things, I guess, next. But I'm gonna start answering some questions here. Um, okay, so Flora May said, "How do I know if my third eye is really open? I have read a lot." Hold on. I have read a lot of it, but my brain seems to struggle to comprehend it. Thanks. um, it's kind of like it's one of those things that you'll pretty much know. You'll know. It's like I do believe our minds can't really comprehend things until we consciously go through it, and we'll your body, I think everyone has a time in their life when they're ready. And when you're ready, I feel like the gods or the universe will kind of like choose you in your time period of when it's time for you to open your third eye or to expand spiritually. Um, Usually it's something that's not really controllable. I guess it's controllable to a certain extent. Like we can work on meditating on our third eye. We can work on, expanding conscious spiritually, reading spiritual context or self-awareness contact text. um as long as we're doing our part to diligently work on expanding as a spiritual human being, that's all we can do, and the rest is kind of we'll have to take care or manifest in divine timing, I think. Let me make sure I'm understanding this question right. um I feel like literally it'll come a time where your brain you probably read so much context, or one day you'll just wake up and you'll be able to understand everything, if that makes any sense. I know it sounds weird put like that, but I wouldn't force it. I would say just go with the flow, continue to research. Because one day your brain is just gonna start clicking with certain words that you see constantly. And I actually used to be like this. I used to be to the point when I was first reading self-awareness books and self-help books and spiritual texts and metaphysical things. I didn't understand a word anyone said, and I used to feel stupid. And I used to be like, why am I reading all these words I don't understand, I can't comprehend? And I almost wanted to give up, and but I don't know, something clicked with me when I kept researching. It started resonating slowly but surely, and I started to pick up on the words, the context, maybe the like context clues, or like I don't know, it just started resonating out of nowhere, slowly but surely. So I wouldn't give up like trying to figure out what everything means, because it's like entering a new world or a new language. So it's like you have to become accommodated with the new culture, the new lingo. So it is like a whole like spiritual text, self-awareness. It's like you're training your mind to think in a whole new perspective, or putting yourself in new shoes. So it takes time to resonate with things. So don't give up in trying to understand. Um, Keep researching and looking at videos like this, because one day it'll just click. It's like literally taking on a new language. Let's see. Um, I hope I'm saying your name right, Disha. Disha Black. Thanks for this video. You're welcome. I'm trying to help you guys. Hopefully I'm touching on everything you guys need me to touch on. It says, what's the difference between Kundalini and just opening your third eye? I knew this question was coming. um, Kundalini and opening your third eye. Okay, so Kundalini is literally more of an energy thing, and the third eye has to do with your. I mean, they're both energy things, but your Kundalini energy. So that's more so of think of your life force energy. I always like to think of it like, mm, what are those lamps called? Those lamps that burn by fire, like the fuel that it's like the fuel that burns the fire, whatever. I feel like Kundalini can be put in that way. But when I speak upon Kundalini, it's like your life force energy. It's the energy that um has to do with like your creativity, your sexuality, and just your existence as a whole. Whereas your third eye is just more so in touch with your intuitive center, your sixth sense, things like that, clairvoyance, clairaudience. So it's really different. It's more so like, I'm trying to elaborate what Kundalini is to you because I feel like I'm being so vague with that. um, it's nothing really special. I guess special about Kundalini. I mean, it has to do a lot with your spiritual growth, and yeah, your third eye just has to do more with like with your intuitive insight. If that, I hope that helped any. But let's see. Oh yeah, lantern. Thank you. I'm like, oh, what is that? um, let's see. Oh, I feel like I made a video on that, like comparing the two. Yeah, I have Kundalini versus Third Eye Awakening. I feel like I explained it so much better because I think I wrote it all down. Um, thank you. I can't even pronounce that, but thank you for your compliment. Um, yeah, I think like you can try to look up my video Third Eye versus Kundalini Awakening. I might link it below, but yeah, it touches way more in depth because I actually sat and wrote down the differences. Um, I wish I had it with me, but let's see. So if you guys have any more questions while I'm on here about third eye, I would like to try to answer it to the best of my ability. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. It says, oh, okay, I thought you had to raise the Kundalini in order to open the third eye. Um, I'm trying to see if one can be without the other. I think in my previous video, I felt like they both do kind of coincide with one another because when I had my spiritual awakening, that's when my Kundalini it rose through all my chakras, and I do feel like my third eye opened at the same time as my Kundalini, so you might have a point there. But there might be other cases where people have said they opened their third eye without rising their Kundalini. But I feel like mine kind of happened simultaneously, however you pronounce that. Yeah, so you might have a point with that. Like, they're both spiritual energies. So, when I was going through my Kundalini awakening, um, my perception of the world was expanding, which caused my third eye to open further. My perception was changing, so everything was kind of happening to me at once. I feel like so. Um, yes, I raised my Kundalini. People, I had someone else ask if I really did it or not. For me, it was a very profound experience, and I kind of knew when it happened because I could literally I could physically feel it happening. But yeah. Someone, okay, by the way, I'm going through my Kundalini awakening and I heard that it could be dangerous and I'm scared when it does awaken. Um, what do I, what should I do? Um, okay, so I made a video called The Real Dangers of Kundalini Awakening, and basically that video was touching on how Kundalini Awakening isn't really dangerous. Only dangerous part of the Kundalini Awakening is the fact that some people take it better than others. So some people they claim to oh, mine went so well. I didn't have such a bad time. But for me, I struggled because my perception of the world and how I perceive things was being challenged. And that is a scary part. It's not so dangerous, more so it's scary. And how you take being afraid is up to you. You can do it in a composed manner, or you can um okay, 1 second. um you can take it in a you can take it the fear as like this thing to be okay, it's kind of like, what do you do when you're in panic mode? Do you um chill and try to meditate and calm yourself down, or do you try to like fight everything? So it's kind of like that's what happens when you have a Kundalini awakening. You can either fight everything, resist, and make it very, very hard for yourself, or you can calm down, see what the fuck is going on around you, scope everything out, breathe, take a second, step back, take breaks, drink lots of water, things like that. So, really, it's your approach to the Kundalini awakening more so than it being this dangerous thing. Again, you'll have people telling you which that is this demonic thing, which I will touch on in the next video. More so my thoughts on that. But yeah, it's not really scary. It's scary because you're, but it's new. It's new. Anything that's new is scary. So it's how you handle that fear. It's up to you. Like, and if you're a person that's not really good with change or new things, then it's gonna seem crazy. But if you can handle change, or practice handling change better, then you'll be fine. Okay, so is it normal to see geometric shapes of different colors while meditating, or is it a manifestation of your subconscious mind, or is it or is it normal? Or is it normal? What does a snake mean when you saw it whilst meditating? By the way, the snake is looking outward in defensive mode. Oh yeah. um let's see. Wow. Okay, so you have great questions, but let me try to break it down. um It's very normal to see geometric shapes in different colors while you meditate, but I've heard that you're not supposed to get distracted on those, because when I first meditated, I would get so fascinated with the colors and shapes I would see that I forget to focus on my breath. And but sometimes you can also get visions that distract you when you're meditating, but I feel like visions aren't really distractions. They're more so insight that you should follow, that's gifted to you by your spirit guides. For example, I would meditate and I used to get a lot of Egyptian prophetic past life dreams. For example, I would always meditate and come upon this huge gold door, and I used to fear walking through that door in my meditation. But once I did, I would walk through that door and I would reincarnate as Cleopatra and walk all the way to the throne, have all these people bow to me. It was very crazy. It was insane meditation. But when you have things like that happen, I feel like you're just supposed to go with the flow in meditating. But as far as the shapes and things, try not to get distracted. And I try to focus on my third eye center as far as getting visions. Um, what does a snake mean when you saw it whilst meditating? By the way, snakes. I'm still trying to comprehend what snakes mean, because I feel like people in our religions try to condition you to see snakes as a bad thing. But when I had my Kundalini awakening and I felt that it happened, I actually got confirmation from a medium when I went to just a spiritual festival. Right after that experience happened, one of the mediums that saw me walking around, she noticed my tattoo and it was a snake, but she also read into my energy and said I had snake energy. And at that time, I was like, oh, fuck, I have snake energy. Is that a bad thing? And I didn't want to look at it as a bad thing because it's something that's a part of me now. And Kundalini, it never really said it was a bad thing. It said that it was just energy that lies dormant, that awakens when a person's ready, things like that. But I took it as, well, it's a part of me. I have to learn how to love it, how to harness that energy, how to, things like that. But I'm still learning. Actually, I'm still learning on the energy, the snake energy. Because I feel like I'm still conditioned to believe like the Adam and Eve type shit. Like snakes are bad. But there's also symbolism in snakes. Like I read up on what snakes as a spirit guide means. I have to look it up again. But it's not all bad. But again, there's a stigma behind snakes. And when I got this tattoo, actually, before I had my Kundalini awakening, I was obsessed with snakes for some reason, and I had to get this tattoo. But then that's when, like shortly after, I had my Kundalini awakening. But I will definitely get back to you when I do a Kundalini video on more research, or when I meditate on that for my spirit guides. Talking so much. um, okay, I feel like my third eye is somewhat open only because of the fact that I can tell when I see bullshit on TV. I can pretty much tell when I'm presented with lies. Yeah, so that's a good sign that yes, like your third eye could be opening. And it could be the fact that it's happening slowly but surely. Like sometimes I feel like my guides or the universe wants to ease you into things, because sometimes if you're just smacked in the head with all the truths of reality, it can probably drive one to become insane. Or like like what happened to me in my Kundalini awakening. Everything I found out was a lie that I've ever been taught. So I was having trouble eating that truth pill, like from the Matrix. But I do feel like you could be being eased into truth or reality, and that's a good start. Like seeing what's fake on TV, or how the hierarchies in society works, things like that. So yeah, you have a good point, and it could mean also you're very intuitive um, to the get go, and you could just what you can do is practice exercising that gift that you have to see truth and making it stronger. So if you've been getting visions, for example, look up how you can make those visions stronger. If you've been getting channeling, make that stronger. Or if you've been getting, who knows, like empathetic feelings, picking up telepathy, things like that. Like you can exercise your third eye to become stronger, things like that. Um, Thank you for your answer. You're welcome. So anything else, you guys, before I leave? I still have um maybe about 10 minutes. I'll keep it probably at 30 minutes if I need to. These videos usually get pretty long. Um, Fun fact: what you can do to like bring clarity in your life through your third eye is take a amethyst stone and just literally sit it on your third eye and just meditate laying down like that, or in the sun. Actually, I picked up the practice of laying in the sun with the amethyst stone just sitting on my third eye and picturing sunlight going through the stone and into your third eye. It's some trippy shit. But it brings clarity into your life when you do stuff like that. It makes your intuitive insight clearer and stronger. Really, it's all about listening to your intuition when it comes to any of this stuff. Because a lot of times the answer is within. I know that sounds very spiritual, but yeah. But yeah. Alright, so that's it, you guys, for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.